Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Malik Imtiaz Ahmed, and my co-authors are the Dr. Muhammad Bilal Ahmed and Muhammad Imran. And the ladies and gentlemen, AI doesn't recognize border, but our laws do. This creates governance paradox we must urgently address. The topic of today this presentation is regulating artificial intelligence in a borderless digital economy, privacy, bias, and the sovereignty. And I'm going to, find the solution by taking the action, navigating and sovereignty internationalism paradox through the digital federalism. Here is my abstract of the today. And ladies and gentlemen, AI's borderless nature challenges territorial governance, creating a tension between the sovereignty and the cross-border collaborations. If we go to the comparative analysis of the European Union AI Act, risk-based that is, and versus the China social credit system that is a state-centric, reveals informants gap and interoperationality stance. So we find the solution that is the digital federalism multi-tiered governance model combining subsidiary that is a local autonomy with the global coordination. Here is my introductions. Ladies and gentlemen, AI operates in the global ecosystem. That is, data flows, cloud computing, and the supply chain span borders, but laws stop at them. That emphasizes the paradox about the sovereignty. The state use AI for the control, for example, China surveillance, and the internationalism that is a cross-border risk, for example, biased algorithms demand the collaboration. List and will calculate and list the three challenges facing by there, that is the privacy, bias, and the sovereignty as the presentation road map. Here is a comparative regulatory approach. Walk through this table. We know that the US gold standard for the right, but struggle with the extraterritorials enforcement. And the China prioritize the control, but sacrifice the global operationability. And the US innovations thrives, but patchwork laws create costs for the companies. If we look into the summary of this, and then we incite that no single model work globally. We need hybrid approach. And thereafter, we are facing a challenges in the borderless AI. Ladies and gentlemen, GDPR sticks rules clash with the permissive regimes, forcing companies into the regulatory arbitrage. And the example of this is a clear view. AI find for scrapping European Union data without consent, but enforcements remain spotty. And the sovereignty state, the French government admits, but the weak tech control is, dependence on the foreign power. Next one is the algorithm bias as a traditional crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, biasness is not local. It is embedded in a data set and exported globally. So if we study it into the, gender look, we think that the facial recognitions fills darker skinned women, yet a no jurisdiction hold developers fully accountable. And the UNESCO ethics guidelines are, ladies and gentlemen, a start. But without enforcement, business becomes the institutionalized. The Seminity International paradox. Ladies and gentlemen, states want sovereignty over AI. For example, the China data localization, but rely on the global tech, that is NVIDIA chips. And the court, French AI Commission says that weak control is equal to one-way dependence. This paradox demands a rethink. Sovereignty can mean isolation. And then comes the digital federalism hybrid solutions. There are, three pillars. The first one is a multi-tier sovereignty. The global standards for the foundational model. OECD local rules for the cultural nuance. And the digital federalism balance the global standard with the local flexibility. If we break down it, it's come to the multi-tiers governance, and then the subsidiary, the European delegations to the national bodies like Ireland's DPC shows this one. And the influence of this is the global south must have a seat at the table. For example, Indonesia, UK ethics collaborations. If we look into the case studies, enforcement and action, the European Union's GDPR finds AI system for opacity, but enforcement is reactive. And the China mass surveillance for domestically, that's 30% crime drops in, Shenzhen, but at what cost? They know better. The US, if we say that California CPPA mandate buys added, while the Texas DRAIGA, that is DRAIGA, favors intent-based rules. This fragmentations hurts the compliance. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to conclude and make the recommendation about my paper. The AI governance must adopt or, fail. Digital federalism offer a pragmatic path. 3 calls to actions. Number 1, harmonize the global standard. For example, ISO 42001 for AI management. Then the investment in global south capacity to avoid a digital colonialism future. And the last one is use tech solution like, federated learning to reconcile privacy with the innovation. So closing words are that the window to shop AI future is narrowing. let prioritize people over the, technology. Thank you. Thank you very much.